So you call yourself a startup, but you're growing quite fast
Yes.
and expanding globally quite fast.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that. I mean, what's kind of sparked that growth and that expansion to some of these other countries?
Well, you could say it was opportunist. I think there are other times where it's been a bit more sort of strategic and planned. We've had amazing conversations in places that we didn't think we'd have conversations, and we just need to be agile enough to be able to pick those things up and run with them. We're lucky to have some great people in all of those locations. So we've got, like I say, a great team in Europe. We've got a great team in Thailand, a great team here in Canada. So we live and breathe by the people that we employ, and if we employ good people, then there's no reason why we can't get this product out to market in all of these locations.
So as you've seen customers, or end users I should say, start to use the technology, or you helping them use it, what have been some interesting reactions from them? You know, maybe shocking, because in most cases I imagine it's probably closer to elderly in terms of your target group, and of course there's a variety, but what's been their reaction of having these things around them?
Do you know what? It's really interesting. I mean, our technology is entirely passive. So if, as an 85-year-old, you don't want to interact with any of the screen or the app, you don't have to. You can turn off those notifications, and those things can just go to your next of kin or whoever. But it's a really interesting psychological impact that it has on those individuals. One of them came up with this phrase of a digital duvet, that actually it's just there. It's just wrapping around and providing that reassurance, providing that opportunity to have some control over a process that no one can stop, right? So when you're declining, when your health is beginning to fail as you reach a certain age, what we try to do is provide that level of dignity for the individual to be able to make some of those choices and be informed. And that's a lovely thing. I love the terminology digital duvet. What's really interesting is when you see it sort of applied in younger environments. People are fascinated by it. It's a bit like having a new toy, right? And being able to see the impact of elevated heart rate and sleep patterns and hydration, and what that impact has on your ability to cope in a given point in time. That's really exciting for our customers. So I think different reactions in different kind of age categories and groups, but generally all very positive.
Good. You are a data and analytics company at its core.
Yeah.
And now you're collecting data from such a variety of groups.
Right.
Clearly with different needs.
Yeah.
What has been maybe the most challenging thing for you in correlating that data, turning it into insights, and then doing something with it?
Well, we knew we had to invest in our data science team early doors. I mean, that was just a no-brainer for us. Owning our own algorithms, owning our own IP in terms of building those well-being indicators has been something that we've invested quite a lot of time and energy in. I think the challenge is scenarios where you can't quite anticipate how people are going to react to things, right? So an example was that an individual needed to start, because she was fairly dehydrated, she needed to start taking supplements and powders with some of the sort of fluid intake that she was taking, which because up until that point she'd been using the kettle and the kitchen tap fairly regularly, our algorithm had just assumed that that she was now beginning to look a little dehydrated, right? So I think it's all of those little factors of just testing and luckily enough, because of the way that we've built it and because of the way that it learns, that was a hurdle that was overcome pretty easily and pretty quickly. But it's very interesting how just minutiae like that, minutiae of behavior change, does get picked up, and we just needed to learn how to deal with those things.
And I think for someone like you in the health tech space, which is fairly new in some instances, but a huge need, in a startup, as a female founder, I mean, those are, to me, just winning categories all around. So I'm just honored to be sitting next to you.
Oh, bless you.
But as you reflect on having done this now, and coming from the corporate world and or large enterprise before, would you ever go back?
No. I think that's the simple truth. I think what the past 4 years has allowed me to do is I think when you're in a corporate environment, you operate within certain norms, don't you, and certain roles and responsibilities. When you're responsible for building a business, there are no barriers. The barriers are the ones that you put up around yourself, right? So they're psychological barriers rather than organizational barriers. And having that freedom to operate, having the ability to grow and to scale, to make decisions, to work with some brilliant people, which my team are, I think we're just so incredibly lucky. And yes, there are downs and challenges and problems along the way, but when you have that freedom to operate, it just transforms.